everyone, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Deluxe Class Autobot Novastar from Transformers Power of the Primes. I believe her original G1 name was Firestar, but I don't think they could get the copyright to that anymore. I know it's at least the name of a Marvel superhero, probably some other copyrights as well. So they've decided to rename her Novastar. But it is nice to see some more female Autobots. You can tell from the packaging here she is a repaint/remold of Moonracer from Wave 2. I was kind of hoping she would get her own mold, and then what they would do is repaint Moonracer into RC, and then if this was a different mold, they could rework this as Chromia. We did get a Chromia back in Generations a couple years ago, but that was like a futuristic motorcycle. I kind of thought that looked more like Afterburner from the Technobots, but that's just me. But I was kind of hoping that way we could have Elita 1 be the core, and then have 4 female Autobot limbs and make a full female Autobot Gestalt. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So we will have Moonracer and Elita 1 and Novastar. No RC or Chromia. What are you going to do? I still think it looks pretty good. I do want to give a quick shout out to Amazon for their fantastic shipping packaging, because as you can see, this guy or this gal, a little worse for wear. You can see the bubble is pretty smashed up. The card here has a giant crease, so thank you so much, Amazon, for putting it in an envelope and shipping it that way instead of springing for a cardboard box. So thanks, guys. Woo! But anyway, it looks like the figure is undamaged, so we should be able to continue with the review. Here is a picture of Elita 1 here on the side as a Gestalt. Not too much going on there on the bottom. Taking a look on the back. How will the daring infiltration and rescue specialist wield the power of the primes? Bios are lacking. And you can see it just has the Wave 3 Prime Masters. As far as I know, Novastar is the only thing in Wave 4. I don't think there's Wave 4 releases of Prime Masters, Legends Class, Voyager, Leader. I think and I know she's the only Deluxe, so this might be all of Wave 4 right here. I mean, I know Punch Counterpunch is coming out soon, but he kind of exists outside of the waves, just like Blastoff and Repugnus. So I don't know. I don't know why we're only getting one Wave 4 toy. For some reason, I feel like there might be something repainted for Legends Class, but I could be 100% wrong about that. Only time will tell. If you know, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But nice artwork. I like how she's got a couple Energon cubes in tow. Kind of lends to the original G1 episode that featured the female Autobots. They were kind of stealing Energon cubes from Shockwave because they're kind of battling him up on Cybertron, which was kind of neat. But she kind of transformed into a flatbed truck from what I remember. And obviously that is not the case here, but that's what happens when you need to repaint in an existing mold. So what are you going to do? Let's go ahead. Let's get her out of this busted packaging and let's take a closer look. So here's Novastar out of the packaging, and I'm going to apologize right now in case I accidentally call her Firestar at some point. I'm sure I eventually will. But here is the card that she comes with, so we can take a quick look at this. Really nice artwork. I really like that quite a bit. Very neat. Autobot Novastar. And then his Alpha Trion Novastar, harness knowledge of the greatest infiltration strategies. Very cool. So again, nice solid cardboard, very collectible, nice little cards here. Put that off to the side and let's take a look at the figure. You have the standard hand foot piece with this little section that can pop out so you can put a Prime Master in there. Again, you know how these work by now. They're all the same. Put that off to the side. Here's a little gun she comes with. Kind of cool. I like this. Seems like a kind of powerful weapon. Very large barrel, as you can see. So I like that. Very easy to just pop right into her hand. And there you go. And she can go ahead and wield that. Now, right out of the packaging, she is transformed a little incorrectly. You're going to want to take this section, and you can see the two peg holes right here and here. And there's two pegs right there and there, so you want to go ahead and lift this up. And then peg that in. Actually, am I doing that right? I believe so, yes. It just seems lower than I remember with Moonracer. There we go. So once you peg that in, now you can get your waist movement back. She doesn't have so much kibble. So right off the bat, I really like the head sculpt quite a bit. I think they did a really nice job with that. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer for you. But yeah, very cool. Very nicely painted, very nicely detailed. I feel like they did a great job with the head and the eyes, the face, the lips, all of that. I think they did a great job. The color scheme is pretty good. It makes sense for someone called Novastar or Firestar because it has a wonderful red and orange paint scheme. So I like that quite a bit. Articulation is going to be pretty much exactly the same as Moonracer. Ball joint here in the shoulder. You have a ball joint in the head. You have a ball joint in the elbow. Wrist does not move. You have waist movement, I guess from side to side in the hip. You have a ball joint, and then you have a thigh swivel, and then you have pretty much 90 degrees in the knee. And then not really anything in the ankle. That's really for the transformation. But overall, I think it's enough posability. I think it looks good. Now, she does have kind of a massive backpack, and she doesn't really have huge heels to help against it, so you just kind of have to play the balancing game. She can balance for sure, and she looks good. You just kind of have to make sure she's not pitched too far back, or that backpack will take her to the ground, unfortunately, because it is fairly heavy. And then just for funsies, here is Moonracer next to her, suffering from the same thing with the backpack, making her want to fall over. So I think they look great together. I really do. I think they did a great job with the paint scheme. It's definitely the same mold, but I think they made it different enough that it doesn't feel like it's exactly the same toy. I think the color scheme really goes a long way to differentiating the two. And like I said, it's just really fun after all these years to get some nice female Autobot toys, because they were fun characters in the show, and I like seeing them in physical representation. So very, very cool there. I just wish we could get, like I said, a Chromia and an RC that were also combiner figures so we could get that full Gestalt team, but not much we can do about that. But yeah, they look good together. So I like this figure. So far, the robot mode definitely working for me. Love the color scheme. Articulation's pretty good. Let's go ahead and get to that transformation. Alright, so if you play with Moonracer, the transformation is pretty much exactly the same. I'm going to see if I can do this from memory, see if I remember how to do this here. Go ahead and kind of move these out to the side, and I'm going to unhook this and just kind of leave it down here for the time being. I know you have to spin this around, and then you have to pull this forward, or did I do that backwards? No, I did it right. You have to make room so that that can come down, so that you can then spin the head around and hide that inside. And then you can fold that back up. Then you want to bring the arms back. And you want to bring this up. And you can see that there's a tiny, tiny little peg right there, and that pegs into the side of the arm right there. So you bring that up, and then you can kind of bring this, and you can see that there's a peg here and a little peg slot right there. And you just pop it in the slot right there, and then you can fold the hand in like that. So you kind of want to do that again on the other side. Bring this up, peg that all in. Then you're going to come to the feet and fold this section down like this, kind of form the front of the car mode, and then peg the legs together. And then you're going to spin the waist, lift this section up and spin just the waist like that. And then you just kind of bring this giant chunk down and that fills in pretty much the rest of the car mode. And there you have it. And I think it looks pretty good. I wish there was a little bit, in this mode, it's mostly red. I wish there was a little bit more orange. Like, all the orange that's in the robot mode is kind of lost in this mode. And you have the clear window. I mean, even if this was orange, I feel like that might have been a cool pop of orange instead of having the window be clear. Or like a translucent orange. I just think that might have been a little bit better pop of color. Just in this mode, it's a lot of red. I mean, you can still see some of the orange down here, and there is a little bit up here, and you can still see the hands in the back. But you can take this piece, and you can see that there's kind of thrusters molded in here, and you can peg that in to this section here, if you like. and it just makes it even longer. So it takes a long car and makes it even longer. And then you can peg the gun on the side here, which I think that looks pretty good. I like that. So it's definitely a nice vehicle mode. It's exactly the same vehicle mode as Moonracer. They didn't I guess really the only thing they remolded was the head. Everything else appears to be pretty much exactly the same. Which, like I said, it's a shame because I feel like Novastar's alt mode in the show was not really this. I would have rather seen this mold repainted as either Chromia or RC, and then make a little bit like flatbed kind of mold for this character. But I will say Chromia, I feel like, was kind of not an SUV, but maybe almost like a little van. So I feel like if you would have made a flatbed character or a flatbed mold for this character, and then you could have given like a little hood to make like a van type thing for Chromia, and then have that come off and be like a shield or something. Kind of like what they did with Hoist and Trailbreaker in the Generations line, something like that. And that would have been neat to then get all 4 of the limbs as female Autobots for Elita 1, but alas, it is not to be. But it's still, this is a nice figure. I like the vehicle mode, rolls pretty well. It's just pretty much exactly Moonracer, just painted red. I think Novastar or Firestar, whichever you prefer to call her, is a nice use of the Moonracer mold. I definitely think they did a nice job. The paint scheme is very cool. The remolded head looks fantastic. Very similar to the original G1 character from the cartoon. I really do like what they've done. The vehicle mode is basically exactly the same as Moonracer, just painted pretty much red. I would have liked to see a little bit of tweak to the vehicle mode just to make it stand out a little bit as opposed to Moonracer's, but I understand that's not really in the budget. And I don't know, like I said, if you like the Moonracer toy, you're going to like Novastar. I think she looks great, color scheme's good, articulation and transformation exactly the same as Moonracer. So if you hated the Moonracer mold, then I would say probably don't pick this up. But if you did like that mold and you're looking for some more female Autobots to add to your collection, then definitely I think you should track down Novastar and add her to your collection because she's a nice fun figure. I just really wish we would have gotten at least one more new mold for the female Autobots so that we could have gotten a full 5-team using RC and Chromia, because it would have been really neat to just have a full 5-team of female Autobots that is a Gestalt combiner. I think that would have been really, really cool. I guess at this point you just kind of have to throw Jazz in the mix and you're still missing an arm. I guess, I don't know. I don't know who else you use because they've only really given us 4 so far, as far as I can tell. Like, that isn't a Dinobot or somebody else that's already spoken for. So, I don't know. Would have been nice to get at least one more. Even if they wanted to just do like another Amazon exclusive where they repainted this mold again as Chromia, I think I would probably still go for it. Just to get that full team, and Jazz is just kind of like the Bosley to their Charlie's Angels, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. So, if Hasbro's listening, I know they're not, but hey, give us another use of this mold as Chromia. If it's painted nice, I'll probably go for it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear your opinions and thoughts as well. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.